believe this is your first
This
feature
is my
film?
first feature film.
Pretty good way to start.
Yeah, great way to start. Yeah, Idris Elba, Aml Ameen, who I grew up watching in kidulthood. I don't remember how old I was when I first saw it, but yeah, and when I heard he was attached to the project, I was like, wow, like I'm working with somebody that I grew up watching. So yeah, great.
Tell us a little bit about Engin and kind of how he fits into the story.
So Engin is a part of a trio of a sound system. They sort of do music and they get caught up in like the drug circle thing. And my older brother in the movie plays like a drug lord of the area. So yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Pretty good challenge.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No, I can imagine as a young actor, you hope to work with some of the big stars.
Exactly. Yeah.
Idris is probably one of those names, especially for British talent that wants to work because he's gone on to do amazing things. But to be part of his directorial debut, I mean, that's extra special. I can imagine.
Yeah.
What was it like working with him?
I mean, obviously I'd seen things that he'd been in before. Like I grew up watching Luther, which was like, I love Luther. And I'm like, so I got called to audition for the project and I was like, Idris Elba. I was like, I won't think too much about it, obviously. I want to sort of think about the character and stuff. But so I went in there open-minded and I auditioned, and then I got it. I was like, yeah, great. Like it's exciting to be a part of a project that he's attached to. And,
You're talking to the writer that it's a project that he loved so much that he had so many commitments in between that he really wanted to wait for 4 or 5 years. But it must be great that he's so passionate about it. That must rub off on all of you as actors as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's important to have like people that are passionate about the project to be attached to the project because it's like a family, and yeah, it's great.
How was it as a learning experience for you with someone like Idris? Because he's worked with so many amazing directors and he's worked with people like Marvel and St. Luther and everything else.
Right.
How did that kind of rub off on you as a young actor?
I'd say it's definitely surreal. I sort of didn't want to think about that whilst filming. I wanted to think about the project and the character. But yeah, it's obviously amazing to be a part of a project that he's attached to and stuff. And he gave us so much freedom whilst filming. So that definitely taught me like improv and like sort of thinking for yourself in a film. Like that taught me a lot actually, which is great. Yeah, which I carried on into like other things. Yeah.
But just finally, I mean, it's a movie of so many different important themes and so many different stories, everything else. I mean, what do you hope audiences kind of take away from this movie?
I really want, which they will see, is for people to see different cultures and different aspects of life, because you don't always see that in film, and I think it's very important. And I think it's not where it's supposed to be, but it's definitely coming up at the moment, and it's great. It's a great project. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. Scott. Oh, Scott. I'm Evie. Give thanks. I'm very delighted. I'm overwhelmed. I'm whelmed.
Not underwhelmed.
Not underwhelmed.
So let me ask you about your character and kind of how he fits into this amazing story.
Okay, so I play the role of Jerry Dredd, and Jerry Dredd is the older brother for D, who's D for Dennis, played by Aml Ameen, So this older brother is one of the, parental figures that in D's upbringing, you know what I mean? And it's really that. What I like about this role compared to the other roles I've played is like, as a Jamaican actor, you're expected to play the bang bang role. But I'm happy I didn't get the bang bang role. It's more like a peaceful. I give you that.
Yeah,
it was nice. It was nice. What soft acting is good. It was good to express that style, to show that Jamaican actors have that range as well, to be composed on the screen.
Yeah. Let me ask you about filming in the location, because I understand that you filmed in the location for a few days out in Jamaica and everything else. How was that?
Give thanks to Yardie, Studio Canal, everybody. They filmed in Jamaica on location and in London on location. I came to London for the first time last year because of the Yardie project, which was awesome because then my schedule had Yardie's London scenes first. I was like, I'm gonna go away to act. Shit, that was good. The project is well thought out. Everybody was, got to partake in piece of the pie, which is good. When I came here, I'm impressed and I love the art of the London city. I think it's like my jacket, They're very elegant but ragamuffin, It's just nomadic.
Let me ask you about Idris. I can imagine you would want to work with him as an actor, but when he's your director as well, it must be an amazing experience to work with him on his debut.
Wow, it's the deepest pleasure. I don't know. I can't even explain it. We're honored. The fact that he chose a story like this, we're honored. He's a man of I remember when I walked in the room, because I didn't know he was the director. They surprised me, okay? I walked in the room and I saw him. I was like, no way, this dude acting cool. You're a star, man. So I was to, compose myself. And he said something that was very important. He said that I'm a filmmaker. You're making a film with me, so you're a filmmaker. I totally stripped this actor title from off of me. I feel more involved in the project, which is good. Because then I can't just approach it like I'm just a piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
I'm also the picture.
You're everything.
As much no matter how small it is, it's very important.
Respect. Same here.
Congratulations on the movie.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
A massive event. You must be delighted that so many people have come out for this movie.
It's oh God, I'm beside myself right now. You know what I mean? I'm honored to be a part of this experience, this piece of history, because never before has a Jamaican. Well, it's a Jamaican story. It's a mixed film because it was produced here in the UK, but never before has a Jamaican story seen this type of promotion and publicity, on this level within our time, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about King Fox, because he's kind of integral to Dee's story, and he goes off to London and everything. Tell me about the character and what you found in him that kind of interested you, wanting to play him.
Well, in the words of Idris, King Fox has to be sexy. You know what I mean? He's this cool musician. He's also an aerial leader. You know what I mean? A Don. So he projects that image. So when Idris was telling me about King Fox before I started filming, he wanted me to. First, he wanted to age me because King Fox is obviously an older dude than I am in real life, and it was an honor to play that image, to play that character. So he wanted me to keep that energy of exuberance, that hip vibe, that sexy vibe of King Fox. So we managed to accomplish that. I would assume. We managed to accomplish the nuances of King Fox, and I'm looking forward to see what the international audience will think about my rendition of this particular Jamaican character.
I thought you were great.
Thank you, man.
Let me ask you about Idris. I mean, as an actor, he has such a power anyway, but as a director, he was so integral to making this movie, and he so loved the project that it must have rubbed off on all of you that he was so passionate about the story.
Idris is a director's actor. He's an actor's director. That's the word. He's an actor's director because he's been around it, so he knows how we want to be communicated with. He kind of gets to the point really quick, lets you know what he wants, and it was quick, man. I must say, and it was my pleasure working with him. And I would definitely work with him again on another project. He's just phenomenal, you know what I mean? Phenomenal actor and also now director, and I'm glad to be a part of his directorial debut.
Yeah, I mean, everyone wants him to play James Bond. Maybe there's a Bond villain role for you somewhere.
Oh gosh, man. Can you imagine Idris is Bond and I'm the villain? That would be amazing,
I'd
right?
I would watch
that. I'd spend money to see that one. Yeah, man.
Totally.
I'm so excited. It's Eid as well today, so it's like a double celebration.
There you go. Fantastic.
What a great way to celebrate. And yeah, it's for me to be in Idris Elba's first movie as a director. I feel blessed. I'm blessed.
Yeah. I mean, this is a project that he waited a long time to do because he had other commitments. But for him to be so passionate about this project, I mean, it must have rubbed off of you as an actor and all of you as an actors.
Yeah. I mean, how can you not be excited about working with Idris? And then when you meet him and he has so much energy and passion for this project, he was really meticulous in the preparation. We had lots of rehearsal, we had a lot of read-throughs, and even did movement classes where we learned to move like we were in the 80s and move like a Jamaican, which was for me not so useful because I was not playing a Jamaican, but I went along with it and everyone had a good laugh looking at me move like a Jamaican. But but he's amazing. He really, no stone was left unturned in his preparation for this film.
I mean, a lot of the guys we spoke to, or the actors, have said how much, as he's a great director, but he's an actor's director, and that he's really all about the acting and everything else. I mean, what did you learn from him in that experience?
I learned that take risks. Really take risks. Don't go home thinking, why didn't I try this or that? And he gave me that space. Like we even started rehearsing again after we started shooting.
Oh, wow.
And then he was like, I'm gonna let the camera roll after we complete the scene and just do whatever you want. And I was like, wow, what freedom. It's like being a kid. I got to play again. So he really taught me to take risks, and I'll always be thankful for that.
Fantastic. I just ask you, you did mention the Turkish James Bond. Everyone wants to be James Bond at the moment. Idris seems to be the favourite. Everyone's talking about him as James Bond. I mean, do you think it's time now for a different James Bond, a black James Bond? Someone as Idris is perfectly placed for that, I guess.
I think Idris would be an amazing Bond. You know, he's so charming and he has such gravitas. You know, whenever the few times that my wife has met him, it's like I become invisible. So I think, why not? Why not? You know, some people are upset by a person of color maybe doing it. For me personally, I don't see a problem with that. People of color everywhere on this planet, and then there's James Bond. People say was written as a white character. He's a fictional character, so we can change it up. He can be Bond could be a woman, it can be Chinese, whoever, you know. But Idris would be a great choice for it. Or
you?
If they want to go Turkish.
Well, a couple of the guys were talking about if he is Bond, whether there's villains or sidekicks or anything like that. I mean, hey, you never know.
I'd be his villain. Yeah, why not? I'd do that.
Listen, let me ask you how you first got involved with the role, and what was it about the character and the story that kind of made you want to make the film?
Well, like initially I got casted for a different role at first. Then I got during the process of the audition, I got put to another role. But both roles I just loved. You know what I mean? I really loved the roles, and it was really fun. And I think just because of the period drama and just like the certain ways we talk now and certain ways we move and everything, it's not relevant back then. So we had to unlearn that and learn that and just learn how they would have been living and how they would have been acting and stuff like that. And it was just a brilliant experience, you know what I mean? Absolutely fun, you know what I mean?
Let me ask you about Idris. I mean, some of the guys have said that they did auditions and didn't know when they were going in for the audition that it was Idris. Sorry? It was some of the guys have said that they did auditions, didn't know Idris was going to be the director, and then went into the room and Idris was there. I mean, he's such a great actor. I mean, what was it like working with him as a director this time?
I mean, it was a different experience. Like, I thought, because obviously we all know him as an actor and stuff like that, but it's a brilliant director as well. You know, I mean, he's got a really sharp eye, and I think he should do some more directing as well. You know, I think he should definitely do some more.
Well, I think because he's in with Marvel, I think he's probably got a big movie in him somewhere down the line.
Yeah. The acting up as well, man. But he's definitely got some talents in the directing.
And just for audiences that are going to watch the film tonight and in the cinema, what do you hope they take away from this experience?
I mean, to be honest, I hope they just enjoy it. You know what I mean? I just hope they enjoy it. As simple as that, really. You know what I mean? It's a fun experience. It's a lovely journey, and I guess in some aspects it can be relatable, but if it's not relatable to you, you can learn something from it.
So the casting agents in Jamaica sent me the script. They said, listen, I sent your picture and your resume up for a film. I can't tell you too much about it right now, but no, it's a big thing, and Idris Elba is involved. Now, I didn't know he was the director, so that was a surprise, but I had to do a self-tape and from Jamaica send it here, and then he came to Jamaica to do some scouting, and while he was here, he requested an audition and a meeting, and I went. You know, it was amazing. He was very cool, very down to earth. He gave me the breakdown of the film. He said, this is what's expected. He brought Aml in, and we did an audition there in the room, and he recorded it. And, you know, called me a few weeks later, I screamed ridiculously in his ear. But what caught me about the film was the script, really. Yvonne being such a strong, dominant woman in the home, she reminded me of my mother, my aunties. You know, Jamaican women are very strong and very firm in what they believe in. They take care of the kids, the home, and that's what drew me to the film, really. And the fact that it's a love story.
Yeah, I mean, all the actors that we spoke to so far have been so delighted at how people have reacted to this piece of Jamaican history and how it is making history. I mean, you must be delighted that people so far are taking so much from the movie.
I am. Can I tell you, I'm so overwhelmed. Like, if you ask me how I'm feeling right now, I won't have the right words because I'm really just like absorbing everything. I didn't understand back then how massive it would be. It's just so amazing to be here. But Jamaica at that time isn't often depicted, and so we appreciate the fact that the 80s and 70s, it's just things we hear about. We never usually, we don't actually see it represented on screen. And so I think Jamaicans appreciate it, Londoners appreciate it because it speaks to their culture at that time as well. And so I think it's very refreshing to just see something new, something from that time and just being a part of it, just living in the time.
No one's had a bad word to say about Idris so far. Everyone seems to love him. Everyone's so delighted that he's made a movie and been a director. What's he like as a director? Because he's worked with so many amazing directors and now he's going off on his own journey as a director.
He's a great director, not to gas him up or anything, but Idris is an amazing director, and I think it's because he's such a good actor, so he understands the actor's process. I mean, being in front of the film, in front of the camera, and seeing how directors operate, he understands angles and what things should look like. But also having the knowledge of being an actor and which should look like on screen, he was able to say, do what feels natural in this moment. Give the actor the opportunity to do what felt natural. And so I appreciated that so much. I think that contributed to him being so great as a director and contributed to the beauty of the film itself.
About working with, ask you about working with Aml. I mean, the two of you have a great chemistry together and a great relationship, and you kind of watch the movie, you want D to kind of stop doing what he's doing and kind of take Yvonne, his child. I mean, what was it like working with him? Because the two of you had great chemistry on screen.
Yes, Aml is a brilliant actor. He was method for the whole time, which is it just blew my mind. Like, I just enjoyed, at some points I would just sit, like even in his apartment, I would just sit and just observe him. You know, he was method throughout the whole thing. He taught me a lot just observing him, you know what I mean? And you know, we kind of guided each other throughout the whole process. We started emailing each other as the characters, before I even got to London. So Yvonne and Dee were very familiar before I got here, and when we got here, we just kind of kept the chemistry going. When we're not on set, we're going out. He showed me most of the city, you know. He took me places. We went to dinner. We were with Idris most of the time. We did a lot of dinners and stuff. So being with Aml was amazing. I think because the chemistry of the film is so important to Idris, it was very important for us to get very close, and we did. And we're really good friends now.
So tell me a little bit about the project and how you got involved in the first place, and how happy you are now that it's going to be released in cinemas.
Well, I'm very happy. It was a lot. I was working on it for about 4 years, and then just kind of waiting for Idris to have availability to come on and stuff. So it's been like 6-7 years in the making, you know. So it's another thing altogether to actually see it out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and posters on the tube and everything. So,
I know Idris has obviously been trying to direct this one for a long time, as you say, and he seems so passionate about it. It must have been great that you had someone like that who was willing to wait to get all his other commitments out of the way to come back to you.
He made it possible.
Yeah.
You know, he just. It wouldn't have been made otherwise, because it's not on the surface a commercial film. You know, it's a niche subject matter, difficult accents, you know, and it takes someone with Idris's clout and his passion and his skill to get it done. So you know, who else was going to do it? You know,
well, exactly.
You know?
But that's fantastic that the story gets out there. You know, that it is someone like Idris brings his way to it, and also brings this amazing cast together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
it's a great young cast as well, isn't it?
Oh, they're fantastic. Yeah.
And what are you hoping that the audiences take away from this? Because it's you know, there's so many different themes, so many different stories in this one.
I mean, when I was working on it, when I was writing it, I just wanted to have a story other than, you know, drug dealing and gangs. I wanted to have some sort of depth to it, a kind of a culture that was complete, rather than just good guy. You know, drug dealers are bad and cops are good. So that's hopefully what I want, is to give some sort of depth to the Jamaican culture, West Indian culture, Caribbean culture, that it's an actual real place with real people and so on. So,
I know you've jumped off of this. I mean, what's next for you? Are you jumping into something right now or taking a break?
I've always got stuff going on. You know, too much stuff.
Too much going on.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey